I just want us to take a second and reflect on Yamcha. Because, I mean, in recent years, he's kind of been the butt of a lot of jokes for everybody, but it's just me or does he get kind of an unfair rap?
I see what you mean by that, because recently I've been watching Dragon Ball. I was like, wow, man, he's a total badass. And then I just saw the downfall of Yamcha.
Well, I don't know. The thing about it is, it just seems like he never really had a winning streak, but at least he participated. At least he was helpful. I feel like in the early days, it was mostly just bad luck, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, think about it. He was just like out in the wilderness being abandoned, and all of a sudden he comes across Goku and the gang, and that's when everything started. It's kind of weird. The moment he left the wasteland, that's when things started going down.
Yeah, he started off
and
as
all
a
the tournaments
badass.
too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
the tournaments always had like the worst, person to go against.
He always
Yeah,
had the villain. He always had to fight the villain of the arc. So like, fucking.
I don't know. He fought Kami once. It's pretty uneven
Yeah.
battle.
That was kind of embarrassing, man.
Yeah, but you're fighting against God, man. It's just like,
but he wasn't really trying.
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. I think we all agree about the whole Yamcha being set up for like the being the whipping boy for the next villain to show off like, oh, he defeated him so easily, so that means he's bad news. But but it's what you said earlier, Merlin, that he didn't have like an established winning streak beforehand.
Yeah, so it's not like he ever had a fall from grace. He was kind of threatening when they first met him, and then, I mean, did he ever really win?
No.
Oh no.
Yeah. Wasn't it like the battle interrupted like the first one or something?
Did he beat? Was that the I feel like he beat somebody, right? Did he beat the mummy?
No, he lost to the mummy. He beat.
God.
No, the one that he beat was the Invisible Man, but even then, that's would help.
Yes, with Roshi's help.
Mm-hmm.
Blood.
Nosebleed of flashing tits.
But I mean, think about it. That's his crowning glory right there. Is that he beat the Invisible Man through, I guess, clever technique, but still, that's his highest victory, I think.
The problem with Yamcha is that I don't know what Toriyama's thinking, because from the very beginning, he's supposed to be established as this impending threat, because he's the first person that actually got to fight with Goku on a challenging level. But then afterwards, you don't really see Yamcha being victorious, or you never get the idea that he's supposed to be powerful. And that's the thing where Toriyama kind of failed. And then at the end of the result, it looks more like he's just a pushover, when in reality he's supposed to be a formidable opponent.
Yeah, man. You know what's sad, man? I think Krillin is more threatening than Yamcha, man.
Well, he is. I mean, the unfortunate thing about it is Yamcha's character just kind of goes downhill. He makes it worse because he starts off like he's not really that powerful or skilled of a fighter, but as time continues, it seems like he just cares less. Like after he dies and comes back, he just kind of gives up. He's like, I'm too far behind. I'll just kind of chill, do my laid-back training, and just not take it seriously.
Yeah.
And he becomes kind of a coward.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, it's kind of understandable because all these characters are just too much, like, for any human to handle.
Yeah, but if you slack off, it's gonna make it even worse.
Yeah, man. He should have took inspiration from Krillin, man.
I don't know, man. But here's the thing: you make it sound like it's such an easy thing to fight against all these aliens and superpowered androids, but in reality, how did anyone else contribute? Really? Come on, man. Come on.
Come on, man.
They didn't.
Man. At least he stopped Cell from trying to absorb for 18. That was an achievement.
Wait. Who are you saying? You're saying that nobody else contributed anything? I'm confused.
No.
Well, you're saying this
I'm not saying no one else.
Well, I mean, if you're saying Yamcha shouldn't give Yamcha such a hard time because nobody else did anything. At least people did stuff in small ways. They helped out as things went on.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at this through like here's the thing. You're supposed to take it through like a martial arts perspective, or take it more like in a sports-like perspective. If you try to do something and things don't work out, then it looks more like you kind of have to call it a quits, man. If it's one thing if it was some more of a regular sport or something, but in these life or death situations and nothing works out, then what can you really do?
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like the whole point of the show, and pretty much every show and ever, is like push yourself to your limits, don't give up, right?
Yes, it is. But the thing is, all the main characters are very alienated, quite literally, due to the alien characters.
Well, I know it's a problem. I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying. I guess yes, he should feel dwarfed by these things, but he's still like 1,000 times more powerful than the average dude.
Yeah, but even then, he might be powerful than any other human being, or like in a certain league of human beings. But at the end of the day, it's not going to contribute much against in a series where it's mostly solve your problems through fighting.
Hey, he could at least be
So, wait a
like a
minute.
distraction.
So you can say the same thing for Mr. Satan? Because look compare him when he was fighting Majin Buu, man.
Yeah, but that was for comedy's sake. Comedy's sake.
He could have been for comedy's sake too, Yamcha. I'm just saying, like, yeah, he could have been comic relief or at least tried. I mean, he does have the power.
Or the Yajirobe early on, I guess.
Yeah, shit.
But even they did stuff that was useful in combat.
Hmm.
You know what? Speaking of which, Yajirobe. Okay. Here's an example. All right, Yajirobe really, technically speaking, was more useful than Yamcha, but he might be weaker than Yamcha. But he still managed to contribute, even as years and years went on. He gave up, kind of, but nobody ever gave Yajirobe a hard time, and he was once kind of one of the main gang members. Think about that.
So your question's asking, like, how come people don't rep on Yajirobe, or...
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know why either, but I mean, if you think about it, Yajirobe was not even, like... He was only part of the group during the Piccolo arc, and if you include all the filler scenes, then he's only been there in the Saiyan and the Namek, and afterwards he's just been with Korin.
Fuck you guys, I'm gonna fuck Korin.
Remember, though, with Vegeta.
Yeah, I know what scene you're talking about. It's like the one time where he felt like he was gonna run away, but then he shows up and cuts the tail off, and that was his contribution. Yes, I can see that.
But if you think about it, at that point in the series, he and Yamcha are probably about the same level. I mean, Yamcha's thing is he still went and tried to face danger, but he just went out through stupidity, I guess. And he still, made that selfless sacrifice, but people give him a hard time, I guess, because he died. Nobody gives Tien or Chaozu a hard time they died.
I think the reason they give Yamcha a hard time is because all of his other fights have been like the losing streak has been clear, even though for a story perspective of demonstrating the danger of the next foe. But here's the thing, though. Like, a lot of people say that he's cocky, but I never really saw that in there.
I'm sure Z could contribute to this conversation a little bit.
Well,
but really, it's
trying to drag him in here
to
see if he shows up.
It's kind of interesting, though. The interesting thing about it is that a lot of the characters, I mean, already established and shown and were kind of strengthened and heightened even in the Dragon Ball era. And the question I have for you guys is this. Yamcha's kind of like a lot of the characters created a template. So are there other series that kind of have their own Yamcha, maybe more intentionally because of the standards set by Toriyama? Or is it not? Are there not many to that level? Because Yamcha's kind of unique in that there are characters in other series that they are kind of jokes, but I don't think anything really to that point where there's one guy that's set as like a punching bag that everybody kind of hates on.
Actually, I can only think of one character, and it's a girl.
Okay.
It's actually Sakura.
And that's
good.
But the thing about Sakura that makes it worse is that she is an actual main character throughout most of it. So...
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a character that just, like, was in the main set and then just dropped down below to minor, and...
Do they count as comic relief, or no?
Well, I'm trying to picture any character with that role, but I haven't come across that recently.
Well, I mean, like, Krillin and Yamcha are basically the same, but Krillin stayed with the main group, basically. He still stayed semi-important.
Yeah, he did something.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say fucking Kuwabara, but never mind.
Well, Kuwabara's kind of close, but he was still relevant throughout most of the series. He just kind of left. He never lost his credibility.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think, like, in Rurouni Kenshin doesn't have that either.
Not really.
No, it doesn't have it, so it's not.
Him and Sanosuke are pretty even, actually, as partners go.
Yeah.
I can't think of any One Piece characters.
Because I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that Yamcha's kind of unique in that regard. I mean, there's this character that's so popular due to his unpopularity because he's such a disappointment. I don't know. It's
kind
just
of odd.
Weird.
I'm trying to think. I don't think One Piece has that either. One Piece doesn't have it. It does.
No, One Piece doesn't have that. I mean, the closest one you could say is like Usopp maybe, but he's more of a Krillin character.
You know, the only character I can think of would be like Joseph Joestar in his role as in parts 2, 3, and 4. But even then, he's
still,
like, he's Joseph. So,
he's still the leader. He was still an advisor in those elements. He didn't shine as much action.
I can't compare Yamcha to Joseph, man. I'm sorry, man. He already, sorry, no, man. He already redeemed himself in part 4. So
yeah, I know.
Come on.
I know.
Yeah.
I will say the difference is this. When Yamcha's streak was constantly failure, at least with Joseph, it was like he was so awesome. It's like, you're not quite as awesome now, and it's frustrating, but he was still much more awesome because he was the wise guy with all the knowledge, essentially.
Exactly.
Joseph.
I mean, not only like the downfall of his fighting was down, even his relationship with Bulma was just going down in flames.
Oh, yeah, but Bulma wasn't exactly like the greatest girlfriend either.
No, she's not. No, the fuck she's not.
Actually, guys, this actually brings up another Dragon Ball related topic I'm curious about. It's another joke that Bridges brought up recently.
Okay.
But I'm curious if you guys think there's any relevance to this. It's weird and it's creepy, but I'm curious. Okay. Tien and Chaozu. Do you think... Now, I personally always assumed they were raised, by evil martial artists, and they got the wrong idea.
Is this some sort of pedophilic joke or something?
No. I'm just saying that there's I always thought they were friends, brothers, but there is that easily interpreted romance line. I'm wondering, is the homoerotic idea I'm prominent? I'm serious. Like, is that a legitimate interpretation to whatever that is?
I don't think so. Like, there is nothing that could hint at that at all. I mean, just because Tien is big and then Chaozu's really, really tiny, is that the reason?
They just live out in the middle of nowhere. I'm curious, is that like a totally out there joke, or is there could be interpreted that way?
No, I don't think so. That's more like a pairing, if anything, or a fanfic pairing, I would say.
Yowie.
Maybe, but I don't see, like, how could anyone think that within the contents of the show, though? I mean, Hunter x Hunter is one thing, what we talked about before with Leoero and Kurapika. That's one example where it looks like it's, it looks suspect all the way. But
dude, that whole show is suspect.
Yeah.
I would argue that's one of the main themes, is like subtext of,
friendship.
Oh yeah. Yeah, super friend. It's real close friendship.